Hello students, we are discussing political system of Uttar Pradesh, and in that we are discussing various chief ministers and their roles. Although most of the questions would be contemporary in nature, that will be more related with the uh, last couple of years, but at the same time you never know, because at the same time the political system does not mention the time limit in syllabus. So be mentally prepared that question can be asked from any portion. So I discussed that the time period after independence for Uttar Pradesh, G.B. Pant was the chief minister, first chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, and he was veteran leader in freedom struggle, and his tenure after independence, although he was chief minister for the period 1937 to 39 as well, before independence, but after independence, when United Province was renamed as Uttar Pradesh. So 1950 to 1954, we have discussed his contribution, be it land reforms, be it monogamy among Hindus, be it the dealing with the communal issues, and he got Bharat Ratna also. Then the Congress hegemony continued, and Congress was changing chief minister and states frequently. As I say, perhaps the reason was that Uttar Pradesh is so much populous and chief minister of Uttar Pradesh is so much powerful that may challenge central leadership. Me. Although at the time of Nehru there was no such crisis, but even then High Command was not willing to take chances. And this is the reason why again Sampurna Anand, Dr. Sampurna Anand was the chief minister from 1954 to 1960. Technically his tenure was for 6 years, but it was in 1952 under his leadership Congress won, but discontinued. Again in 1957 under his leadership in state, Congress won, but in 1960 there was again change of guard and change of rulers, means change of chief ministers. So Sampurnanand, he was Sanskrit scholar. I have discussed already. Then the 1960 to 1963 was the time period of Chandra Bhanu Gupta, great fundraiser and strategist for the Congress and business community. He was belonging to the business community. So naturally, Congress was willing to cobble the support of others besides BDM, Brahmin, Dalit and Muslims, which were quite formidable, but at the same time, by making a person from business community, it was not willing to give Johnson any chance to get the support of the people. Then 1963 to 67, it was Sucheta Kriplani from she was belonging to Ambala, but she became active in UP's politics. Sucheta Kriplani, the first women chief minister of India and first women chief minister of UP as well, both. So Sucheta Kriplani, she was firm administrator. She was known for handling the strikes of the government employees well. Then 1967, Bharatiya Kranti Dal, Chaudhry Charan Singh, the veteran leader. I have discussed his role, that how he was of different approach and he favored alternative politics. So along with socialist of Lohia and along with Johnson, he was able to form government, but his government did not last for long. And 1968, again, it was 69, it was Chandra Bhanu Gupta. But due to split of Congress in 1969, there was again change of government, and in that case, there was change again, Chaudhry Charan Singh and again Chandra Bhanu Gupta. So there were frequent changes in government. Finally, in 1971 to 73, there was again change in the form of government, and Tribhuvan Narayan Singh was the chief minister, and he lost by election. So since he lost by election, so president rule again, that was 70 to 71. As far as 71 to 73 is concerned, during that time period, it was Kamalapati Tripathi. I have discussed how he became Indian Railway Minister twice, and he was Brahmin face of Congress, and people were always looking towards him for tickets. I have discussed about him earlier also. He was also member of Constituent Assembly to draft Indian Constitution, and due to revolt of PSC during his time period, I have discussed how PSC, that is Provincial Armed Constabulary, revolted against army even, and 30 Jawans were killed. So he, on moral responsibility, he resigned. Then Hemanti Lal Bahuguna, 73 to 75. Hemanti Lal Bahuguna was changing sides, first in Congress, then going to other sides, Socialist, then Janata Party. Again in 1984, he unsuccessfully contested against Amitabh Bachchan in 1984 from Allahabad. He lost election by more than 1.5 lakh votes. So this was in 1973 to 1975. Then during emergency, Sanjay Gandhi was ruling the roost. So 75 to 76, it was N.D. Tiwari. ND Tiwari was not of very good memory. He was not of good memory because always persons or secretaries were around to remind him about the names and to introduce others. So, but ND Tiwari was very close to Sanjay Gandhi. This is the reason why he was rewarded during emergency with Chief Ministership of UP. Then, after 77, the ND Tiwari government was dismissed in 77, and Ram Naresh Yadav became the Chief Minister of Azamgarh. He was very known for very simple living, and later he became Madhya Pradesh governor as well. He was named on Vyapam scam, and later he died. Also, his son's name also came in that. But as you know, Article 361 is there, which gives immunity and protection to both president and governor from all civil and criminal cases. So after 1979, it was Babu Banarsi Das, 1979 to 1980. He was also, Babu Banarsi Das was also of Agrawal community. So you will see that in between Kayast and Agrawals were also accommodated along with PDM, so that Congress can maintain its hegemony. And Babu Banarsi Das was known for common dining. Even during his younger age period, he favored younger common dining, which was not supported by even his family. Anyway, again in 1980, there was change of guard in UP. 1980 to 1982, Raja of Manda, VP Singh became the Chief Minister of UP. Up to this we did. So VP Singh was in 41st in order of royalty. So he was the only person of royalty who became Prime Minister of India later in 1989. So at that point of time, he was Chief Minister. He was of having personality of dealing with the law and order formally. So during his time, encounters were frequent. During his time period, Behmai episode happened, Behmai massacre in fact, in which Phulan Devi and her followers were involved. Means since Phulan Devi, she was Bandit Queen of Chambal, which was working in Madhya Pradesh and Jhansi region of Uttar Pradesh and that of Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh. So in 1981, 20 persons from Thakur community were killed by Phulan Devi and her followers. This created agitation in UP, and VP Singh government started encounter regime to end the gang of Phulan Devi. Ultimately, pressure increased so much that Phulan Devi along with her followers had to surrender. Although she surrendered before Madhya Pradesh police because she was not trusting UP police. Later, after a prolonged period in jail, in 1996, she was released, and then she won from Samajwadi Party's ticket here. She became MP also, and she was belonging to the Mallah community or Kewat or Nishad community, and in coastal in the riverine belts of Uttar Pradesh, particularly eastern Uttar Pradesh, this community is strong at present. The Dr. Sanjay Nishad is the leader of the Nishad party, which is an ally of BJP. So in Uttar Pradesh, you will find so many castes are there, and they have their own concern, they have their own interests. So as far as VP Singh government is concerned, he was known to crack down on the dacoits and anti-social elements who were creating law and order problem. But he also ordered UP police not to kill Phulan Devi personally. Although her gangs members were killed, but he did not want to antagonize the lower caste or backward caste Nishads. This was perhaps the reason why he ordered. But at the same time, there was counter reaction and revenge. And his brother, who was judge of Allahabad High Court, was killed by dacoits. This was giving a very bad name to UP, because if a judge of High Court is not safe, that too, the brother of a chief minister, incumbent chief minister, then definitely there will be question on maintaining law and order. So on moral responsibility, he resigned, and 1982 he resigned. Although later he became first defense minister, and then he became finance minister, and during Rajiv Gandhi government, in which he ordered inquiry on Bofors scam, then he was ousted from Congress, and then became the rallying point for all opposition. And finally, in 1989, a non-Congress government was formed under the leadership of VP Singh. So it was a National Front government, coalition government, led by VP Singh of Janata Dal. Chaudhary Devilal was also the leader of it, and supported by DMK, Ashram Gang Parishad, and Telugu Desam Party, and others, along with the outside support of Communist as well as BJP. So this was the story of VP Singh. VP Singh's role was to be remembered in different sense also, as he was instrumental in breaking the hegemony of Congress, and he was instrumental in bringing the politics of Mandalization. As in 1990, August 1990, when he was the Prime Minister, government decided to go for 27% reservation for OBCs in government jobs. This led to agitation against it, particularly in North India, and he earned the wrath of the anti-reservation still. So, VP Singh on 15th August 1990, from his Lal Killa speech, independence speech, he declared Prophet Muhammad's birthday to be holiday. So he tried to expand the base, social base of Ajgar, to make it Majgar, Muslim. Majgar, that is Muslim, Ahir Jat, Gurjar Rajput, although later in 90s it assumed the shape of Mai, Muslim and Yadav combination, both in UP and Bihar. In UP it was Mulayam Singh Yadav, and in Bihar it was Lalu Prasad Yadav who represented this Mai equation, a strong formidable equation, because it's not caste equation. One is caste and one is religion, Mai, Muslim and Yadav combination. So that both communities, religion-wise as well as this caste-wise, they are very large. It is being argued that Yadav is the single largest caste among Hindus, and Muslims are the largest minority community, constituting almost 14% of our population. So this was quite formidable. So the credit goes to VP Singh for making Majgar from Ajgar to expand the social base. That finally broke the social combination of Congress BDM, as after 1990, by and large Brahmins shifted to BJP, Dalits to parties like BSP, and Ram Vilas Paswan's party, and the latter in Maharashtra Republican Party, and so Panthers and others. And Muslims also drifted here. So this broke the social combination of Congress, and this is the reason why Congress never got revived, at least in UP, after 1990. So that was due to VP Singh. Anyway, so those were the decisions during his tenure. After resignation of VP Singh, it was Shripati Mishra, 1983 to 1984, 82 to 84, after resignation of VP Singh, Shripati Mishra. Shripati Mishra was also speaker first, and then he became chief minister. This was so with the Babu Banarsi Das as well. So both were first speaker and then they became chief minister. Shripati Mishra did law, and finally he became judge, and later he went to village to work for village population. And he was one of the rarest politicians who again rose from the village politics to become chief minister. So that was his credit. So he proved that even people from villages can become successful politicians, and successful can discharge the responsibility better. So this was 1982 to 1984. Again, it was N.D. Tiwari, 1984 to 1985. N.D. Tiwari was made the chief minister of UP, and N.D. Tiwari got prominence during Sanjay Gandhi. Now Rajiv Gandhi also chose him, but at the same time there was flood in 1985, and there was a huge flood in UP in 1985, and there was alleged maladministration on the part of N.D. Tiwari. This is the reason why even Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was not quite happy with him, and finally, after going for survey of UP's flood affected areas, he returned and decided to replace N.D. Tiwari with the new leader. And this time the new leader was Veer Bahadur Singh. 1985 to 1988, it was Veer Bahadur Singh. He was considered to be project chief minister of Rajiv Gandhi, because many developmental works which are now visible are also the contribution of this government, Veer Bahadur Singh's government. Be it enlargement of roads, or be it planetarium, or be it housing schemes, or be it beautification of parks, cities, infrastructure, roads, youth's employment, computerization, all these things, tourism, all these things started during Veer Bahadur Singh. So his image was first, the issue of economic development was the focus during his tenure, because in UP, caste, religion, PSC, role of PSC, identity politics, they were mostly discussed earlier, but for the first time during his government, the focus was on infrastructure, economic development, Ganga action plan also, cleanliness of Ganga. So the concrete material issues were being there. That was partly also due to the inclination of Rajiv Gandhi government, as Rajiv Gandhi government at center was credited to have technology missions led by Sam Pitroda, and information and communication technology also considered to be contribution. But again, compulsion of caste politics, because in UP, Congress could not have antagonized Brahmins, could not afford to antagonize Brahmins, at least till 1990, because they were core voters of Congress. So naturally, again, in 1988 to 89, N.D. Tiwari was made Chief Minister again. N.D. Tiwari. So N.D. Tiwari's following was huge, particularly in hilly regions, now in Uttarakhand. As you know, earlier UP had 425 seats. When Uttarakhand got separated from Uttar Pradesh in year 2000, then its strength in assembly reduced to 403, which is the strength right now. So at that point of time, it was 425, and his support base in that hilly region was quite strong, although he was Chief Minister of the whole UP. So naturally, he did not need any introduction. He was already a veteran, known leader. And in 1989, you will see that VP Singh, after being expelled from Rajiv Gandhi government, became the rallying point of all non-Congress parties. And he formed a National Front. National Front government came to power. So VP Singh led the National Front government, which was coalition government, 1980 to 1990. Only for 11 months he could remain Prime Minister, VP Singh. So as far as UP is concerned, in UP, after 1989, there was election in UP as well. In 1990, Mulayam Singh Yadav became the Chief Minister of UP. Mulayam Singh Yadav, he is also known as Dharti Putra, or the leader who is too much associated with the soil, or so much grassroots leader. He was not very much eloquent. Many people believe that his words were not very much clear. There was lack of clarity, and he was speaking so fast that many people from non-UP, particularly who are not understanding the language of that of our region of East Bridge region or Western UP's region, they're struggling to understand his language. But he had immense organizational capacity, working at the grassroots level, and having a different approach on various issues. Many times it was surprising for many people of cities, because he said that students who are caught with cheating should not be put along with the criminals in the jail. Otherwise, they will also become criminal. His one of the statement that ladke galti ho jati hai, this was also being referred by opposition to denigrate his image. Although that sense may be different, and the constituency he wanted to address was different, but at the same time, in politics, nobody is beyond criticism. So everybody would be criticized, but definitely there were two claimants of Chief Minister in 1990. One was Chaudhry Ajit Singh, who was claiming legacy of Chaudhry Charan Singh. But Mulayam Singh Yadav claimed that he was having the real legacy of the Chaudhry Charan Singh's politics. I have certain queries, so I must see that, because it should not be one-way process. इट्स नॉट ए हिंदी मीडियम बैच. मैंने पहले भी बोला है कि ये हिंदी मीडियम बैच नहीं है. अगर हिंदी मीडियम बैच होता तो मैं हिंदी में ही बोलता. तो ये चूंकि इंग्लिश मीडियम का बैच है, इसलिए मुझे ज़्यादातर क्या इंग्लिश में ही बोलना है. हाँ, कहीं पे भी अगर कोई पॉइंट है, जैसे धरती पुत्र मैंने बोला, तो वो नाम है उनका, जैसे नेताजी है, तो मैं उनको लीडर जी नहीं बोलूँगा, क्योंकि दैट इज़ द नेम, दैट इज़ बीइंग यूज्ड. सो दैट यू हैव टू राइट इन द सेम वे. तो कुछ मेंबर्स ऑफ पीएससी तो मैंने पढ़ाया हुआ है. स्टेट पीएससी आर्टिकल 315 टू 318 जो है वो यूपीएससी और स्टेट पीएससी, और कैसे उनके मेंबर्स को अपॉइंट तो गवर्नर करता है, लेकिन रिमूव सिर्फ प्रेसिडेंट कर सकता है. कैसे उनका टेन्योर 6 ईयर्स और 62 ईयर्स होता है. कैसे वो गार्जियंस ऑफ मेरिट सिस्टम होते हैं, और कैसे जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट और सेशन कोर्ट के जज हैं उनका अपॉइंटमेंट गवर्नर करते हैं. वो तो हाई कोर्ट के रिकमेंडेशन पे. लेकिन उससे लोअर कोर्ट है, उसके जजेस का अपॉइंटमेंट गवर्नर जो करते हैं वो न सिर्फ हाई कोर्ट के रिकमेंडेशन बल्कि स्टेट पीएससी के रिकमेंडेशन से भी करते हैं. तो ये मैं करा चुका हूँ. और कैन यू डिक्टेट? ओके, दिस इज ऑनलाइन क्लास, दिस इज नॉट ए फिजिकल क्लास. अगर डिक्टेट करूंगा तो बहुत समय लगेगा, और इसमें तो एन नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स यू कैन रिपीट मेरे समझ से. और बहुत स्पीड नहीं है जो समझ में ना आए, बहुत कॉमन चीज़ें हैं. तो और सब चीज़ मैं लिख भी देता हूँ, तो इसीलिए ठीक है, आई विल टेक केयर ऑफ कि जो चीज़ें व्हाट आई थिंक इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट आई विल डिक्टेट. कैन यू प्लीज मेक अस लर्न होल मैप ऑफ यूपी? ओके, ठीक है. मैप वैसे ज्योग्राफी में कराया जाता है, लेकिन जो मैं नेक्स्ट क्लास लूँगा जिसमें कि कनेक्टिविटी है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, एक्सप्रेसवेज है यूपी के, तो वो सभी चीज़ों में मैप ऑफ यूपी पूरा आ जाएगा. और वो सेंस में होगा, वो ज्योग्राफिकल सेंस में नहीं होगा कि कहाँ नेशनल पार्क और कहाँ सेंचुरीज और कहाँ कौन सा सॉइल. एक रफली आइडिया होना चाहिए कि हाँ कहाँ प्लेन है, कहाँ भाबर है, कहाँ तराई है, कहाँ मार्शी लैंड है, कहाँ फर्टाइल लैंड है, कहाँ अलुवियल सॉइल है, ये तो पता होना चाहिए। कहाँ बारिश ज़्यादा होती है, ईस्टर्न पार्ट में ज़्यादा होगी, बुंदेलखंड में पानी की कमी होगी, ईस्टर्न यूपी में ज़्यादा गन्ना होगा, ये तो कॉमन सेंस से भी लगा सकते हैं। और ये तो जो स्ट्रिक्ट ज्योग्राफिकल सेंस का जो अलग है, लेकिन पॉलिटिकल कंटेक्स्ट में here I can ask queries. Of course you can ask queries, why not? Because it's not a one way process. Whatever comes in your mind, don't think कि हमारा क्वेश्चन का स्टैंडर्ड क्या होगा, बाकी लोग क्या सोचेंगे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं। कई बार बहुत बड़े स्कॉलर लोग कोई छोटा सा फैक्ट नहीं जानते हैं, तो इसमें कोई ऐसी शर्म की बात नहीं है कि दुनिया का हर फैक्ट, दुनिया का हर इन्फॉर्मेशन, दुनिया का हर नॉलेज हर कोई जाने, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं। हाँ, एग्जाम रिलेटेड यहाँ पे वैसे भी पर्पस आपको स्कॉलर बनाने का नहीं है, पर्पस एग्जाम। अल्टीमेटली मैंने जो बोला, यूपी में तो वैसे लाखों इशू हैं, लेकिन मैंने पहले लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को क्यों डिस्कस किया, क्योंकि मेरे ओपिनियन में, और ना सिर्फ मेरे ओपिनियन में, प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी हो, चाहे समाजवादी की पार्टी की सरकार ही 2007 में हो, चाहे आगे भी हो, या आप यूपी के लोगों से भी बात करेंगे, या आम लोगों से भी बात करेंगे, या मीडिया देखेंगे, कहीं भी देखेंगे, या चीफ मिनिस्टर को भी सुनेंगे, किसी को भी, तो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर पे चूंकि उनका जो है तो नेचुरली वो प्रायोरिटी में है, तभी तो है, आखिर वो लीडर्स हैं। और आखिर हम लोग भी देख रहे हैं कि ये कितना बड़ा इशू है। ये लॉ एंड ऑर्डर तो वैसे सब जगह इशू है, लेकिन केरला में ये बड़ा इशू नहीं है, क्योंकि वहाँ ऑलरेडी बढ़िया लॉ एंड ऑर्डर है। और इवन नेबरिंग बिहार में भी कहा जाता था जंगल राज, तो अब जो है वो थोड़ा परसेप्शन चेंज हो गया। तो जंगल राज है या नहीं है, किसके रूल में खराब है, किसके रूल में जंगल राज है, ये सब्जेक्टिव ओपिनियन है। अपोजिशन का लैंग्वेज नहीं यूज करना है, आपको बैलेंस रखना है कि ठीक है, इट वाज बीइंग एलिज्ड। अगर ये कहते भी हैं कि भाई समाजवादी पार्टी के काल में जंगल राज था, तो इट आपको नहीं कहना है कि था, वो कहना है इट इज बीइंग आर्गूड, इट इज बीइंग आर्गूड। अपोजिशन एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आर्गूड दैट there was poor and law and order। फिर अभी भी की सरकार को भी क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे, तो अपोजिशन को की बात को ओन नहीं करेंगे। इट इज बीइंग आर्गूड दैट द प्रेजेंट चीफ मिनिस्टर इज नॉट टारगेटिंग द क्रिमिनल्स ऑफ हिज ओन कास्ट। इट इज बीइंग आर्गूड, ऐसे लिखना है। ऐसे नहीं लिखना है कि जैसे आपने बायस्ड हैं कि अपने समाजवादी पार्टी को सपोर्ट करना है, या बीजेपी को सपोर्ट करना है, या बीएसपी को, या कांग्रेस को, कि किसको, कुछ नहीं। पॉलिटिकल बायसनेस तो बिल्कुल दिखना ही नहीं चाहिए, और इसके लिए जरूरी है कि जब भी क्रिटिसिज्म करें तो डोंट ओन इट, एंड बट एट द सेम टाइम डोंट बी इग्नोरेंट अबाउट इट। तो वैसे सिविल सर्विसेज में ऐसे कंट्रोवर्शियल क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछे जाते हैं, लेकिन कभी कभी एक दो लाइन भी जो होते हैं वो जो बायसनेस को रिफ्लेक्ट कर सकते हो, ऐसा नौबत ना आए, इसके लिए थोड़ा कॉशियस रहना जरूरी है, थोड़ा सजग रहना जरूरी है। अदरवाइज ये बैड इंप्रेशन देगा कि एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर को ऐसा न्यूट्रलिटी नहीं लूज करनी चाहिए, और उससे बचना चाहिए कोई भी पॉलिटिकल स्टैंड लेने से या बायस्ड स्टैंड लेने से। हाँ, सभी पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजी, सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज, उनका सोशल बेस, जो रियलिटी है सोसाइटी की, वो तो बताना ही पड़ेगा, वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन भी एक्सेप्ट करता है। वैसे तो सभी इंसान हैं, सभी का खून का रंग लाल है, सभी मानव हैं, तो फिर ये कहना कि कास्ट और रिलीजन की क्यों बात कर रहे हैं, फिर तो नेशन की बात क्यों कर रहे हैं, फिर तो सभी इंसान हैं, मानव हैं, फिर क्या भारत और क्या ब्राजील। तो वैसे जो एग्जाम में रिलेटेड चीज़ें हैं जो पूछी जाती हैं, पूछी जाती रही हैं, और अदर स्टेट पीएससी में भी ट्रेंड देखें तो ये पूछा जाता है, और सिविल सर्विसेज में पूछा जाता है, और सभी के मीडिया से, लीडर्स से ये स्पष्ट हो जाता है कि कौन से प्रायोरिटी इश्यूज हैं, उसी के बेसिस पे मैंने प्रायोरिटी तय किया, मैंने अपने हिसाब से नहीं कर दिया। या फिर जो यूपीपीएससी से रिलेटेड जो बुक्स हैं उनमें सभी प्रायोरिटी वाइज तो चैप्टर नहीं है, मैंने देखा है जितने भी बुक्स हैं, तो कई बार वो हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी से स्टार्ट करते हैं, लेकिन हमारा यहाँ पर्पस चूंकि पॉलिटी का है, गवर्नेंस का है, और द यूपी स्पेसिफिक इशूज का है, क्योंकि जनरल इशूज तो हमने कवर किया ही हुआ है। वो जो जनरल क्लासेस में हमने जनरल इश्यूज तो सारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का एक पार्ट किया हुआ है, एक भी पार्ट नहीं छोड़ा, ऑल 25 पार्ट्स किया, सिलेक्टिव स्टडी नहीं, क्योंकि सिलेक्टिव स्टडी नॉट ए गारंटी फॉर श्योर शॉर्ट सक्सेस। और जब तैयारी कर ही रहे हैं तो ठीक से करें, नहीं तो ना करें, मेरा सजेशन है। मैं थोड़ा हार्श हो रहा हूँ इस बात पे, लेकिन अगर करना है तो पूरा कॉम्प्रहेंसिवली करना चाहिए, और मेरे समझ से दैट विल बी, तो ये ठीक रहेगा। और कोई भी क्वेरी और भी हो तो बेझिझक, बिना किसी हेजिटेशन के और पूछ सकते हैं, इसमें कोई ऐसी बात नहीं है। और तो कोई क्वेरी नहीं दिख रहा है, कहना है इज इट माई फर्स्ट क्लास टुडे, आज पहली क्लास है, तो ठीक है, ये तो आज की पहली क्लास है, तो आपने लगता है लेट से ज्वाइन किया, लेकिन सभी चीज़ें तो रिकॉर्डिंग में अवेलेबल हैं ही, ऐसी बात नहीं है। तो ठीक है, आई होप और भी कोई क्वेरी होगी तो आप फील फ्री टू आस्क। पहले मुझे सिलेबस फिनिश कर दीजिए, और क्वेरी और डाउट क्लियरेंस क्लासेस भी होती हैं, ये वन वे कोई प्रोसेस तो है नहीं, सबका डाउट अलग अलग होगा, सबके कंडीशंस भी अलग अलग हैं, और ये कई इंग्लिश मीडियम वाले स्टूडेंट्स ऑब्जेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि मैं बहुत ज़्यादा हिंदी बोल गया, लेकिन स्टूडेंट्स के कहने पे ही बोला। और ठीक है, चलिए अब आगे बढ़ते हैं, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली हमें फोकस एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड चीज़ों पे करना है, बहुत इधर उधर की बातें करने से टाइम वेस्ट होता है। तो हाँ, हम लोग कहाँ पे पहुँचे थे? हाँ, मुलायम सिंह यादव 1990। ओके, तो यहाँ से क्वेश्चन का स्कोप बढ़ जाता है। द पॉइंट इज दैट वॉट एवर पॉलिटिक्स दैट यू सी टूडे is mainly shaped in 1990s. Although there is always an element of continuity and changes. There are many things which are continuing from past, they are continuing. But the developments of near past affect us more. जैसे modern India हमें ज़्यादा affect करेगा बजाय ancient India के. Similarly, 1990 के बाद के developments यूपी के politics को ज़्यादा affect करेंगे. Similarly, 21st century, तो यहाँ से question भी आने के scope ज़्यादा रहेंगे. Anyway, तो हम लोग आगे बढ़ते हैं. यहाँ तक तो हम लोगों ने देखा, हाँ 1982 से 84 वीपी सिंह का जो गवर्नमेंट का जो टाइम पीरियड था 82 था, और वीपी सिंह was the only person of royalty who became prime minister later. I discussed about his role. He was the only person. After 1996, two chief ministers were sitting on dharna to make him prime minister, and he escaped from his house. So this is how VP Singh, although he was controversial figure for the reason that Mandal Commission's recommendation he decided to implement. Although there was internal politics within Janata Dal, because within Janata Dal, Chaudhry Devilal was questioning his leadership, and at one point of time, Chaudhry Devilal said that Prime Minister VP Singh was spineless, and Chaudhry Devilal's son Om Prakash Chautala election from Meham was controversial, as there was charges of large scale use of state machinery to rig the elections. Anyway, those controversy apart, हमें यूपी पे फोकस रखना है. चौधरी देवीलाल जो थे, he was veteran politician of that of Haryana. So now in UP's politics, now 1990 onwards, in 1990 Mulayam Singh Yadav became chief minister. 1990 to 91, Mulayam Singh Yadav was not a new politician. He was minister earlier in other non-Congress governments as well. So Mulayam Singh Yadav was the chief minister. But Mulayam Singh Yadav was not with the VP Singh, as Mr. Advani started a Rath Yatra against Mandal. BJP did not openly say against Mandal, but the timing, if you see, that when VP Singh government decided to implement 27% reservation for OBCs based on Mandal Commission's recommendation, then only the Mr. Advani started Rath Yatra from Somnath to Ayodhya. But in Samastipur area, district of Bihar, the then Chief Minister Lalu Yadav decided to arrest Advani, and then BJP withdrew support from VP Singh government, and VP Singh government failed. लेकिन VP सिंह ने पार्लियामेंट में कहा था कि ये मंडल देश के राजनीतिक वायुमंडल में एक ऐसा ऑक्सीजन होगा जिसको बिना लिए कोई भी राजनीतिक दल सरवाइव नहीं कर सकता. तो वायुमंडल और मंडल को जोड़ा और ऑक्सीजन, और तो दिस इज कॉल्ड मंडलाइजेशन ऑफ इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स. इन 1990s the three M's were dominant in Indian politics. One is mandal, mandalization, another is kamandal or mandir, and third is market. So mandal politics initiated by the decision of the decision by the VP Singh government, and subsequently most of the state governments also decided to go for 27% reservation for OBCs. In original constitution, only reservation was given to SCs and STs, and Kaga Kalekar Commission 1953, Mandal Commission 1979, they favored affirmative action in favor of other backward classes, but no concrete action could be taken. And Mandal Commission extrapolated the data based on 1931, as based on that 31 data, the OBC's population was roughly 52%, so they are getting at almost at half of their population because they are less needy. But SCs and STs, they are more needy, so they are getting reservation in proportion to their population. Although the issue of caste survey now is very much controversial, Samajwadi Party led by Akhilesh Yadav and most of the parties of Bihar, be it JDU or RJD or even Congress and BJP units of Bihar unit, they demanded and favored caste survey. Let me clarify, census is a central subject, decadal head count ratio after every 10 years. But caste survey or survey can be done by state as well. So the caste survey already started in Bihar, although stayed by the High Court, and let's see what Supreme Court will take a stand on it. But the question is that Samajwadi Party led by Akhilesh Yadav is favoring on demanding for caste survey. But other parties, not only BJP but also Congress, fearing that if caste survey is being done, then the actual population of OBC would be almost more than 60%, because that was data on the 1931. So in that case, there will be demand for increasing the reservation, and that will become controversial with their traditional core. That will make the traditional core voters means creating problem for them. There is another reason that this will unleash caste politics more. there is another apprehension that once data would be made public, because socio-economic census took place in 2011 also, and but their data have not been revealed. There were many errors. Those errors have been corrected as well, but that has not been done. So there were two commissions by BJP. One is at the state level, UP 2018 Raghavendra Kumar Committee, which favor subcategorization of OBC, so that more needy get more, to subcategorization into 7%, and 7% Jats, Yadavs, Sonkars will come, and 11%, then 9% extremely backward classes. Then Rogni Ji Committee also has favored subcategorization into 4 categories, but all they are in cold storage because nobody is willing to antagonize Jats, Yadavs, Gurjars, Sonkars and others. They are dominant caste, so no party is willing to do. So when we discuss about caste politics, then it is being discussed, it is being argued that people of India, particularly in North India, people, they cast their vote rather than they vote their caste rather than casting their votes, because caste is reality of the society, whether you like it or not. And caste is an endogamous group with birth-based social stratification, and with birth-based occupation, profession, privileges, underprivileges, hierarchical, ascribed status, rigid. So there are so many evils of caste system, but that is the reality. Anyway, so Mulayam Singh Yadav became the Chief Minister of UP in 1990 to 1991, and his approach against cheating by the students was quite liberal. This is the reason why he was so much criticized. He was of rural background naturally, so many times he was giving very much straightforward statement, and people of rural areas are less sophisticated. You might be seeing in films of Amitabh Bachchan, Chora Ganga Kinare Wala, to Miti Chori Se, so that is in jokes apart, वो लिखने वाली बात नहीं. Though, so the politics of India and UP changed in 90s. That is Mandal, Mandir and market. These things, market because economic reforms, Ram Manohar model, structural adjustment program, LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization, that started in 1991. Then Mandir, already Ram Janmabhoomi movement was very strong, and I have discussed that how Rajiv Gandhi government was pressurized in 1987 to open the gates, and how the Vishwa Hindu Parishad started the movement. And during Mulayam Singh Yadav's government, there were attempts to destroy the Babri Masjid, but his government ordered firing to protect the Babri Masjid. So this is the reason why sometimes his opponents called Maulana Mulayam. Maulana Mulayam. Even Narasimha Rao, the Prime Minister, said that I can fight with Ram Bhakts, I cannot fight with Ram. So even Narasimha Rao was not going for a very stern action. But in that context, Mulayam Singh Yadav took a very stern decision. And perhaps he could take such a bold decision because he sided with the Chandrasekhar. After VP Singh, Samajwadi Janata Party was the party which was formed by splitting Janata Dal.
Taju? Papa? Taju? Record क्यों नहीं हो रहा?
Led by Chandrasekhar, and Mulayam Singh Yadav was with Chandrasekhar. Even BSP was with Chandrasekhar, not with the Masiha of Mandal, that is VP Singh. So Chandrasekhar government also continued for few months only, 4 to 5 months only, and finally there was the India's economic condition was so down. Chandrasekhar was also a veteran politician from UP, Balia region, of eastern UP, Bhojpuri speaking region. So Chandrasekhar never assumed any post unless he was offered the post of Prime Minister in 1990 to 1991. So Mulayam Singh Yadav sided with Chandrasekhar. Later he formed his own party, that is Samajwadi Party, parting ways from Samajwadi Janata Party. So Janata Parivar had so many branches, with Janata Dal, JDU, JDS, RJD, BJD, so many. Lok Dal, Damkipa, INLD, RLD, they are all branches of Janata Parivar. And the BJP was successor of BJS, that is Bharatiya Jana Sangh, supported by RSS and Bajrang Dal and Vishwa Hindu Parishad. Finally, after 1991, again when Congress withdrew support from the central government led by Chandrasekhar, Congress also withdrew support from Mulayam Singh Yadav's government. And finally, elections took place both at center and states. And in center, there will be Narasimha Rao government, minority government. But in state, full-fledged government led by Kalyan Singh. So 1991 to 1992, 6 December, up to 6 December, 1992, Kalyan Singh government. Kalyan Singh was belonging to a OBC caste called Lodh Rajput. Although other Rajputs are in general category, but Lodh Rajput, Lodhi Rajput sometimes they are also called, they are coming under OBC. So BJP was trying to fine-tune and balance. On one hand, it did not want to antagonize the core voters, be it the higher caste or forward caste. On the other hand, it did not want to appear as anti-OBC. This is the reason why a middle Atrauli, he was Bulandshahr. Atrauli, you know, that is the name of the place. So Kalyan Singh government was there. So during Kalyan Singh government, BJP got organizational boost, and BJP got majority on its own. Out of 425 seats, it got majority on its own in 1991 election. Not only in UP, but Rajasthan, Himachal, and Madhya Pradesh as well. So during this Kalyan Singh government, there was ordinance against Nakal Virodhi Adhyadesh to treat Nakal or the cheating in exam as a criminal offense. So his approach was strict that in comparison to Mulayam Singh Yadav's approach. Moreover, because of political compulsion, UP government also decided to go for 27% reservation of OBCs, and you will find that there was a perception that law and order in UP improvised, although that perception is partly created by the party which is having a stronger cadre. BJP, leftist and rightist parties are always cadre based, be it left parties in Bengal or Kerala, or you rightist party BJP, you will see they have a strong cadre, so their campaigning would be more effective, they have more resources, rather than personality oriented parties or some caste or religion based parties. So 1991 to 1992, it was Kalyan Singh. Kalyan Singh government also gave affidavit in Supreme Court to protect Babri Masjid. Being part of the government, if you are in government, you have taken the oath of constitution and you have to maintain law and order, and moreover in wake of threat. But at the same time, government could not have ordered opening fire against car sevaks, because car sevaks were the core supporters of BJP. So unlike Mulayam Singh Yadav's government, Kalyan Singh government was helpless and it could not stop car sevaks. Even BJP leaders at that point of time, be it L.K. Advani, Uma Bharti, and one more Sadhvi, so they were not in favor of destroying Babri Mosque. But the car sevaks were so much impatient that they did not listen to the leaders. Initially, leaders who appealed only for clean